going into the top of the S's. 31, Ben Cooper, your race leader. Signoretti trying to get around the rookie here, Gavin Sanders, in car number 10, who finished second here yesterday in an absolute brilliant run. The race won by number 220, Valerie Lamage, who's a little bit further back. Valerie not getting off to a good start. She's back at about ninth as they work their way down through turn number 8, and then prepared 8, 7, and then 8, and then prepare for the run up the back straightaway. But up front, it is our pole sitter, Ben Cooper, 31, who runs the Jim Russell karting school here at Mont, Tremblant, originally from Great Britain. And yesterday, in his very first race, had a great run as he qualified on the pole here earlier this morning in the dry. Yesterday, Ben Cooper finished in 6th, but put it on the pole in the dry. He knows this racetrack as we look at some of the other battles going on. Number 116, Eric Chaput, moving around. The 20 of Austin Riley, the Racing with Autism driver. Your race leader as they shuffle the order here under the bridge turn at the end of this opening lap as we run here in the cool fall air, but a beautiful sunny day at Le Circuit Mont Tremblant, about an hour and a half northwest of Montreal. Your race leader is that 31 of Ben Cooper. Jake Exton in the 00 has moved up into the second place spot. Will reset the order there. Marco Signoretti also not getting off to a great start. He has dropped back into about the 6th place position. And then Valerie Lamage back into about 9th. Valerie winning it here in the wet yesterday after an absolutely brilliant run. Signoretti closing in here on Frederic Bernier in the 28 car. That is the battle going on back there for that 5th place position. Side by side, Signoretti in that blue and white PayPal-sponsored car has got a pack of cars running right with him. In fact, 7 running for that 5th place position. Meanwhile, up front, it is Ben Cooper, 31, your race leader, followed by the 00, the Clarington Nissan of Jake Exton. Then the rookie Gavin Sanders, who turned 17 years of age yesterday when he finished second to Valerie Lamage. His very first race weekend was a month ago in the series at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. This young driver, just 17 years of age, coming out of the karting ranks where he's been running in the Briggs & Stratton senior class, but had a great drive yesterday. Your race leader, Ben Cooper, off the end of the back straightaway, down through the left hand at the Gulch turn. Then Sanders in that white number 10 car running in 3rd, and parked right behind him is Kevin King. Oh, and we've got a car off the racetrack, hard into the wall there at the Gulch. Wave yellow flags around. The front bumper is off of that car. I think it might be. It is 28. That is Bernier, Frederic Bernier, who was our leader in the senior class coming in. But Bernier putting that Micra right into the Armco barrier off of the Gulch turn. We'll see whether or not he comes on a pit road as the field works their way through. There's the entire front bumper on that car being retrieved by one of the corner workers. Up front, 31, Ben Cooper, a 3-time world karting champion, trying to hold off the 00 of Jake Exton. So the two Brits going at it here for the lead as Cooper qualified on the pole here in the dry. And there's another driver off here, 116, Eric Chaput is also off the racetrack. That is at the entrance into the S's coming over the hill at Le Diable. That car parked at the side of the racetrack, and we go to a full course yellow with a shade under 35 minutes in this 40-minute run for the Nissan Micra Cup. So many stories here this weekend. These drivers ran in practice sessions on Friday in the dry. Qualifying was in the wet yesterday, where Marco Signoretti grabbed the pole. There's the 116 of Eric Chaput. Had a brilliant drive here yesterday in the wet. Finished in fourth, but it looks like his afternoon has ended here early. And looking at how they qualified, Cooper 31 and Gavin Sanders number 10, both rookies in the series. Marco Signoretti was third fastest in qualifying. All of these drivers right around the 2-minute 2 mark. And in fact, the top 10 cars in qualifying were separated by less than a second. It was that closely bunched among these top 10 drivers. And again, on Facebook and on YouTube Live, whatever platform you're watching here from Le Circuit Mont Tremblant. It is a cool but beautiful sunny afternoon here in the Laurentians as the Leaf Nismo 100% electric-powered safety car rolls out. All-wheel drive vehicle that's been pacing all of the races here in 2019. And there you see Ben Cooper, who has been coaching and teaching karting here at the Jim Russell School at Mont Tremblant. Corner workers out doing a little bit of track cleanup. The tow truck is already in position there at turn 4, where Eric Chaput in that red and yellow 116 car went off of the racetrack. Again, you come over the top of Le Diable there at corner 3, and the car can get a little bit light. And then it's downhill into turn 4 at the top of the S's, and that's where Eric Chaput got caught out. As we look at the 31 car of Ben Cooper, again a 3-time world karting champion, moved to the Mont Tremblant area a number of years ago to head up the karting school that runs here at the racetrack, that continues to produce some of the great drivers that once they graduate from the karting ranks. Certainly the Nissan Micra Cup Series is one option. F1600 might be another, and some drivers make the big leap from karting right up into F2000. As the field winds its way, there is Kevin King in the 40 car. Up into the 5th spot is Austin Riley, who qualified 7th. Austin Riley here yesterday was down in 11th. He had a couple of absolutely brilliant drives at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. In race 1 there was 4th, and then came back to finish 2nd in race 2 a month ago behind Marco Signoretti. Certainly his best weekend of the year. As we look at that 116 car of Eric Chaput. So he is on the hook. They'll bring that car back into the paddock here, and I would think within a lap or so we will get set to go back to green. As we're come up on the 10-minute mark, just a little over 30 minutes to go in this 40-minute run in the Nissan Micra Cup. This series, of course, in its 5th season. They kicked off at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park back on the Victoria Day weekend. That was rounds 1 and 2 of the championship. Then in early June, they were at Calabogie, then ran the Summer Classic here in July, and then on to Trois Rivières, and then a month ago back at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as we prepare to go back to green. And we're racing once again at Mont Tremblant. Side-by-side battle going into turn number 1, and it is going to be Ben Cooper is that 00 of Jake Exton. Gavin Sanders into 3rd. Kevin King in the 40 car running 4th. And these two drivers will go side by side into the top of the S's. Cooper in the 31 car with 30 minutes to go. The pack up front as tightly bunched as it's ever been. 97, Marco Signoretti in that PayPal blue and white. Number 97 car running fifth. Sixth is the 20 of Austin Riley in that green car. Valerie Lamache, just trying to see where Valerie is running. She is well back after turning in an absolutely brilliant drive to win the race here yesterday in the wet. Into turn number 8, diving in on the inside. Signoretti trying to get on the inside of Kevin King, and they're going to go side by side up the back straightaway, and Austin Riley is going to tuck right in behind Signoretti's PayPal Micra, and those three drivers are going to battle it out here for 4th, 5th, 6th up the straightaway. Into turn number 10, your race leader still Ben Cooper. Then 3 wide off the end of the straightaway at 427. Nicholas Barrett was moving up there to make it a 3-way fight through the gulch and up into the bridge turn. So it is Signoretti, the driver who is on the march. He's moved around Kevin King into the 4th place spot. Marco Signoretti wrapped up the rookie championship at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park a month ago, wrapped up the Nissan Micra Cup Championship here yesterday, finishing 5th overall to become the first Ontario driver to win this championship after Quebec drivers had won it in the first 4 years, including the 3-time champion Olivier Gavard, who began the season with 3 wins, but elected to focus on F1600 racing. But every one of these races has been this multi-car battle up front. They're so closely matched. That white 31 car of Ben Cooper. Out of Mont, Tremblant, the guy who runs the karting school here, doing a great job, certainly knows this racetrack. It took him yesterday to familiarize himself with these 1.6-liter Nissan Micra Cup cars, and here in the drive he has been absolutely brilliant, qualifying on the pole this morning, and so far leading every one of the laps of this 40-minute run. The 00 of Jake Exton right there in second. Then it is the 17-year-old Gavin Sanders coming off of his second place finish yesterday behind Valerie Lamache. Up into 4th is 97 Marco Signoretti, and then the 40 of Kevin King rounding out your top 5. As we look at Valerie Lamache, she must be having some kind of a problem with that race car. She's running outside of the top 10. Off the end of the back straightaway through turn number 10. Now down through the left-hander here at the gulch. And then it is uphill into that bridge turn at turn 12. And again, the front-running 4 drivers locked together. Kevin King trying to make up the ground. And we've got a side-by-side battle going on for that 6th place position between Austin Riley in car number 20. And Riley trying to get around on the outside up into Namro. That is a great 3-way fight. Austin Riley tucked it on the inside. He should have the position coming through Paddock Bend, and he will. He'll take over that 6th place position. That race up front, superb as they run up over Diablo, down into turn 4. And the run into the top of the S's, you get the feeling that that 00, the Clarington Nissan yellow, red, and black car of Jake Exton, trying to find his way around 31, Ben Cooper, who continues to run out in front. Gavin Sanders, coming out of the karting ranks, made his debut in the series a month ago at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, where he finished 7th and 6th in his first 2 races in the championship, but has really elevated his driving here this weekend, finishing 2nd in the wet to Valerie Lamache, and now is right there in 3rd. Marco Signoretti 4th. Then you see a bit of a gap back to that silver car of Kevin King holding on to that 5th place position, and then Austin Riley is in a bit of a tussle here. We'll pick up on that other car that's having a run with him for 6. Meanwhile, off the end of the back straightaway, the 31 car of Ben Cooper continues to hold off the 00 of Jake Exton. Then Gavin Sanders in that white number 10 entry. And then behind him is our champion for 2019, Marco Signoretti from Toronto, the Motorsport in Action PayPal sponsored driver, as they run up in the Namaro. Things starting to tighten up, and there goes Signoretti on the inside of Gavin Sanders. Marco Signoretti grabs that third place spot. Sanders may have been holding him up just a little bit, and he saw Ben Cooper 31 and the 00 of Jake Exton disappearing in the distance, so he was just able to power by on the inside going in a Namaro corner. Gavin Sanders in car number 10. I would think he'll be back in the series next year, as he almost gets it up on 2 wheels there, hit one of the curbings, but managed to gather it back up. So Cooper 31 has led every lap so far. As we work our way to the halfway point in this 40-minute run, Austin Riley in the number 20 car is running in 6th. As the leaders work down through turn 7 and into 8. Great shot here of the run through turn number 8. That is 5th, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Then Austin Riley all by himself in that 6th place position. And there is Valerie Lamage unofficially back at about 11th. So I'm not sure if it's a problem with the car for Valerie Lamage after turning in perhaps her greatest race here yesterday to win it in the wet. Now things starting to heat up for 3rd. Kevin King in car number 40 is closing in Gavin Sanders and Marco Signoretti. These 3 drivers trying to close the gap up on the front-running pair of Ben Cooper 31, our pole sitter, who has led every lap so far, and that 00 of Jake Exton, after Exton with his qualifying run back in 8th. And so he has done a wonderful job of coming up through the field in that 00 car, but again, less than a second separated the top 10 drivers from this morning's qualifying session when it was quite cool among these drivers. This battle here now between King in the 40 and the number 10 of Gavin Sanders. And again, Sanders getting that car up on 2 wheels as he comes off turn number 5 here of the S's. And now here is King. He is all over Sanders for that 4th place position. Kevin King came into this weekend there at Le Circuit Mont Tremblant trailing Marco Signoretti. Did not have a good race here in the wet yesterday, finishing in 8th. And that locked up the championship for Marco Signoretti. They work back down through the right-hander here at turn number 10, or turn 8, and begin the run up the back straightaway. And the overall senior class lead, there is the 728, the driver Mario Bertiome, as he is running inside of the top 10. Our senior class championship between Bernier in car number 28, Frederic Bernier, and the number 98 of Sylvain Ouellette, unofficially with that crash into the wall earlier by Bernier 28. It looks as though, but again unofficial, that Sylvain Ouellette is in a position here in this final race to win the senior class championship. Back up in a Namaro corner as we hit the halfway point. 20 minutes down, 20 minutes to go. The front running 3 drivers continue to run together off of Paddock Bend and on the start-finish straightaway. 31, Ben Cooper. The Brit now calling Mont home, who was involved in one of the top karters for over 10 years, winning 3 world championships in the Rotax class, as he continues to lead that 00 Clarington Nissan driver, Jake Exton and Signoretti in car number 97, inching closer as they work in and off the racetrack. Cooper got wide. The 00 of Jake Exton back out in front. That was coming out of the S as Ben Cooper goes from first all the way into third. So a little bit of a mistake there while running up in the lead for Cooper has shuffled him back to third, and all of a sudden Jake Exton is in the lead. Marco Signoretti in that PayPal Motorsports in Action car. Ben Cooper Racing driver now being challenged by Gavin Sanders as the two karters go side by side here for that 4th place position. So a change in the lead. Signoretti into second, and we'll see who will grab third. Here comes Signoretti side by side at the end of the straightaway going into turn number 10. They're still running side by side. Signoretti's got the inside line, and we've got a new leader, Marco Signoretti. Oh, 2 cars off at the Gulch turn. That was Cooper 31, and it might have been the number 10 of Sanders. Unfortunate incident here at the Gulch, turn 11, and it looks like those 2 drivers got together, and this is going to bring out another full course yellow with about 17 minutes remaining, and this is really going to shuffle the order as the Nissan Leaf Nismo safety car prepares to head back out onto the racetrack. So Marco Signoretti, the race leader, is going to be picked up by that Nissan Leaf Nismo. If you've just joined us here on YouTube or Facebook Live, there's debris all over the racetrack over there at the Gulch turn, and we'll reset the running order for you. It is 97. Marco Signoretti from Toronto, the Motorsports in Action car. There you see, that is the 10 of Gavin Sanders, the 31 of Ben Cooper. They had been battling side by side for third as Gavin Sanders is out of his race car. So a tough break for Gavin Sanders in car number 10 as we come up on 17 minutes remaining, as the young driver who just turned 17 yesterday celebrated it with a 2nd place podium finish behind Valerie Lamage, with Jake Exton finishing in third. Both him and the 31 of Ben Cooper, who finished 6th yesterday, qualified on the pole this morning, led for much of the race until a couple of laps ago when he ran off the racetrack, went from first to third. As we look at the 36 car of Francis Bellerive, was an early exit out of the race yesterday for Francis Bellerive in car 36, but did come back to qualify here and is still running out there on the racetrack. So under a full course yellow, 97, Jake Exton, your race leader. 00 in the 2nd place spot. Then it's 40, Kevin King 3rd. Austin Riley in the 20 car sitting there in 4th. As Signoretti looking to cap off the championship here with perhaps another win. That car that's up there in 5th looks like it's Nicholas Barrett in the 427 car, just behind Austin Riley as the rest of the field rolls through. But a tough break here for the 2 drivers who started on the front row earlier this afternoon. Ben Cooper, our pole sitter in the Ben Cooper Racing number 31 Micra, and Gavin Sanders starting in only his 4th Nissan Micra Cup event, as he qualified on the pole here, 2 minutes 2.458 this morning. And then Gavin Sanders in the number 10 car at 2 minutes 2.592, just a tenth of a second back. And they were battling for 3rd when they got together at turn 11 at the Gulch, and went off the racetrack with damage to both of those Micras. And their afternoons have come to an early end as the field winds its way through the S's behind that Nissan Leaf Nismo all-electric vehicle. There is 98. That is your senior class leader here in terms of the championship. Sylvain Willette. Remember Frederick Bernier, who came into the weekend leading the Nissan Micra Cup Senior Championship. And some extensive damage to the right front of that Ben Cooper Racing Nissan, being towed through turn 12 there at the bridge turn. And as soon as they get the car of Gavin Sanders from Toronto out of there, we'll be set to go back to green. But we are coming up here on minute 28 of this 40-minute run, so it'll be somewhere in the vicinity of about 10 or 11 minutes to close it out. So we're going to have a 10-minute shootout to cap off our Nissan Micra Cup Championship. And it has been a wonderful 2019 season, right from the opener at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, the run at Calabogie Motorsport Park in early June. Of course, the series was here for the Summer Classic at the end of July, and then on to Trois Rivières before the 9th and 10th rounds that ran at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in conjunction with the big NASCAR weekend there. And then, of course, this Fall Classic weekend here. Rainy day yesterday, but this is as beautiful as a early fall weekend and day that you will get here. The kaleidoscope of colors, the foliage here in the Laurentian Mountains as we prepare. The tow trucks are on pit road. We'll see if the Nismo heads to pit road. It does. So we prepare to go back to racing here. It'll be about 11 minutes on the clock. This will be a single file restart as Marco Signoretti brings that PayPal Motorsport in Action car off of turn 15. The green flag is out, and the charge into turn number 1. Jake Exton right there, but keep an eye on some of these other drivers as the 427 of Nicolas Barrette tries to make a move up there into that 5th place position. Front running 4 drivers, Signoretti 97 at the point. Jake Exton parked right on his rear bumper in 2nd. The 40 of Kevin King in 3rd. Dan Austin Riley in 4th. And the 427 of Nicolas Barrette rounding out the top 5. Number 220, Valerie Lamage has worked her way up into 7th. Can Valerie get up there into a top 5 at least after struggling through the first half of the race? Front running 4 drivers, that quartet winds its way down through turn 7, headed for turn 8, and there is Lamage. She is right behind the 47 of Andre Lapointe. Lapointe qualified well back in 17, but has done a great job of coming all the way up into the top 10. We wait for that pack of Nissan Micras to come thundering into turn number 10. Jake Exton takes a look. He got on the brakes a little late, was almost touching that rear bumper of Marco Signoretti. These front-running 4 drivers continue to set a blistering pace up front. Signoretti protecting that inside line. Off of turn number 12, they head through the kink at turn 13. And then it's going to be uphill in Enamoro Corner We've seen the odd attempt to the pass going in here, and there is Exton, takes a look on the inside, can't get it done. Valerie Limoges has moved up into the 6th place spot. So remember, every position means a couple of more championship points. And what is up for grabs here? The championship, of course, decided, but not among the senior class drivers, as right now, unofficially, car number 98, Sylvain Willette, who trailed Frederic Bernier coming into this final race in the championship. He got the benefit of Frederic Bernier running off the racetrack early. And I'm not sure if he's even made it back onto the racetrack and is still running, but unofficially right now, it looks as though that 98 is Sylvain Willette, who is running in the top 10 just behind Valerie Limoges, might be on his way to a senior championship. Up front, 4 drivers locked together in a monumental battle. Our 2019 Nissan Micra Cup champion, Marco Signoretti, coming out of the karting ranks to win the series and the Rookie of the Year award here in 2019, holding off the 00 of Jake Exton. Right there is Kevin King in the 40, and then the other driver, number 20, who had his best race of the year at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park a month ago. Austin Riley still holding on to 4th. And you can see Signoretti trying to take up as much racetrack as he can. Jake Exton right there as they come under the bridge and off of turn 12, headed for 13. Then the 47 car, Andre Lapointe in the 5th place spot, and then it is Valerie Limoges in 6th. Those positions stay the same as the front-running quartet of cars off of Namuro Corner down through Paddock Bend to put another lap up in the books. We've got less than 7 minutes to go as the front-running 4 riders drivers, it's going to get real interesting getting down to those last couple of laps. Into turn number 4 at the top of the S's. As we await the fight that's going on a little bit further back, there's Jake Exton, that 00 Clarington Nissan, followed by the number 40 of Kevin King, then the 20 of Austin Riley, the Racing with Autism Micra. And then that race continues between 98 Sylvain Willette and number 220 Valerie Limoges for 6th and 7th as they work back down through turn number 8. And nobody pulling out of line. They just continue to draft each other up that back straightaway. 5th is Nicholas Barrett. Then in 6th is Valerie Limoges. 7th is number 98, Sylvain Willette, as your senior class leader appears to be on his way to that championship. Signoretti got a great drive coming out of turn 8, was able to pull away a little bit up at the end of the back straightaway, but Jake Exton, late braking into turn 10, has been able to gather up that real estate, and he's right on his rear bumper as they come off of the bridge turn 12, headed for the kink. Out of that right-hander and now uphill into Namuro. 97 Signoretti trying to put a cap on his championship season with another win here at Mont Tremblant. After taking both ends of the doubleheader at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park a month ago, finishing 5th here in the wet yesterday, looking for his very first win here at Le Circuit Mont Tremblant on this 2.65 mile challenging layout as they work back in to the top of the S's. Exton got a little bit wide going into the top of the S's. That's opened the door for Kevin King, and Valerie Limoges having her hands full with the senior class driver Sylvain Willette. So Exton just a little bit of a bobble there going into the top of the S's, and that has allowed the 97 car of Signoretti to open up just a couple of car lengths. Kevin King right there in third. Austin Riley in that number 20 racing with Autism Micra, and they close it up again through turn number 8. The LP Apparel sponsored 40 car of Kevin King right there in third, and you get the feeling Austin Riley, who had a brilliant drive finishing second during round number 10 action at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, parked right there looking to get around to grab that final podium position off the end of the back straightaway up through turn 10. That is where Jake Exton is able to make up some ground here on Signoretti as they work uphill out of the gulch, under the bridge, through turn 12. And we come up here on just about a little over 3 minutes to go, maybe a couple of more laps. We'll check the flagger stand to see when that 1 lap to go indication comes out. But Marco Signoretti hanging on after the 2 drivers who had qualified on the front row, Ben Cooper 31 and Gavin Sanders number 10, took each other out in turn 11 at the Gulf. Damage to both of those cars. I think that last lap indication is going to be out here the next time around, as these drivers lapping at just over and around 2 minutes a lap. Signoretti driving very aggressively. He could have come out here and just put in a nice solid drive, but no pressure at all, having wrapped up the championship yesterday with his 5th place finish after winning the doubleheader at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park a month ago. Really put him in a spot here. We've got another good little 4-driver scrap going on a little bit further back. Valerie Lamage has closed in on Nicholas Barrett, and there you see that fight that's going on here. Another great 4-way fight. Barrett in 427, then Lamage, then number 98 Sylvain Ouellette, and then it is Taylor Neer, Marco Signoretti's teammate in the second of the PayPal Motorsport in Action cars, running back there in the 8th place position. So with about a lap to go, we've got 2 4-car quartets battling here in the top 10 of our Nissan Micra Cup finale. Up into turn 12, under the bridge, Marco Signoretti, followed by the 00 of Jake Exton. And then it is 40 Kevin King and 20 Austin Riley in 4th. Up into Namuro now. They should get the last lap flag here next time around, or the indication of the last lap out of Namuro corner. Signoretti holding on, 00. Jake Exton is right there, and there is, don't know why they don't use a white last lap flag, just the flagman there showing the 1 finger, the index finger out to the field. So less than a lap to go as they work down over Diabla into turn 4, into the top of the S's. Less than a lap to go for Marco Signoretti, 00 Jake Exton, then the 40 of Kevin King, and then the battle a little bit further back there, that 4th place fight involving the 4 drivers, the 427 of Nicholas Barrett, 220 Valerie Lamage, along with 98 Sylvain Ouellette and number 58 Taylor Neer. That is a great fight as well going on among those 4 drivers. But up front, Signoretti with less than a lap to go down into turn number 8. As they're about to run up the uphill back straightaway and up over the jump at turn number 9, And then our camera shot here waiting as they run off the end of the back straightaway into turn 10. That is where 00 Jake Exton has been very strong, but Signoretti with about 2-3 car lengths. Here comes Jake Exton. He's going to close right up on his rear bumper, looking for a way around that blue and white PayPal Motorsport in Action car of Marco Signoretti. Out of turn 12. Just a couple of corners remaining, and somehow Exton trying to find a way around. Will he attempt going up in an Amaro? Through the kink. Up in an Amaro corner, Signoretti in car number 97 protects the inside. 00 Jake Exton runs wide off an Amaro. Checkered flag out at the line. Here comes Marco Signoretti. Will bring the PayPal Motorsport in Action Micra to the line. He will take the win, having already wrapped up the Rookie of the Year honors a month ago at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and wrapping up the 2019 Nissan Micra Cup Championship yesterday by bringing that car home in 5th. But today he benefits from the incident involving the two fastest drivers in qualifying when pole sitter Ben Cooper and rookie number 10, the Carter Gavin Sanders, got together at the Gulch turn, went into the Armco, and that allowed Signoretti to jump out in front. He holds off a determined 00 of Jake Exton. Then up for third was Kevin King. Fourth will go to Austin Riley in the Racing with Autism Micra. And a big shout out to Valerie Lamage, who won the race here yesterday in the wet in an absolute brilliant display of driving. Valerie's able to work her way up through the field. I think unofficially got up there to finish in 6th in that Total Quartz-sponsored Micro of hers. It has been an outstanding 2019 Nissan Micra Cup Championship from the very first weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to this finale here at the Fall Classic at beautiful Le Circuit Mont Tremblant. As the drivers head back on around, we had 22 Micras go to the starting line here this afternoon. Our congratulations to our champion, Marco Signoretti. We're going to say so long from Le Circuit Mont Tremblant. Pat Gonzalez, it's been a pleasure bringing you this finale of the 2019 Nissan Micra Cup Championship. So long, everybody. Have a great afternoon.